As you can see from the selected films, American films tend to show nature as something violent and fearful. They make a resolution of harmonious living between nature and humans tough to come to, but they also show their viewers the destruction of society's actions, and they bring an urgent attention to what needs to change. Each of the films portray the government or leaders of the nation as slow to understand the gravity of the situation, while the common everyday people are left to save Earth themselves. That also happens to be another theme in American climate films, a stroke of luck, last-inning miracle, where just at the right moment, the heroes of the film figure out a way to save society, or in the case of Beasts of the Southern Wild, a community. All the Japanese films that were highlighted in the previous video share the common theme of creating a romantic relationship with nature. They focus more on the heart and how we treat nature from an emotional perspective. By the end of each film, we find the characters developing a strong respect for nature and an eagerness to minimize their interference. The only thing we don't find is an end-of-the-world, sky is falling type of urgency, the kind of urgency needed to inspire climate action. All of the Japanese films have the ability to tug at the heartstrings and create a sense of responsibility for humans to take care of nature and each other. Each of these films also tend to have a sort of magical feel to them. In Princess Mononoke, this was the ancient feel of the mountain gods. In Ponyo, it was the literal magic of the ocean. And in Weathering with You, it was the idea that the climate could clear up with one young girl's sacrifice. By viewing each of these films, we were able to see the differences in the way their country viewed climate change. For instance, in Japan, where unpredictable weather is becoming more and more normal, they view climate as something serious. As shown in this poll, which demonstrates that 8% more of Japanese citizens felt the climate crisis was something affecting them in 2020 than in 2013. You can see this acceptance of unpredictable weather in the way that none of the fishermen in Ponyo were surprised to see water spouts, which in reality were Ponyo's sisters in fish water form jumping out of the water. We can also see it in the way that the old ladies in the nursing home were prepared and expected a tsunami, even had wives' tales about what would bring it on. In America, there is more debate on whether climate change is felt locally, as shown in this Pew Research Center poll. Interestingly enough, both the US and Japan have the same percentage of people who believe that climate change is serious, as shown in another poll from the Pew Research Center. Each of these films have their advantages and disadvantages, and each approach the climate crisis differently. All of the films, both Japanese and American, have a talented cast, beautiful cinematography, and moving soundtrack. None of them are perfect, but they each have the same goal: educating people about the seriousness of the issue and encouraging them not to be paralyzed with climate fear, but to come together and fight for the right kind of change.